right, welcome back to another Off the Cuff podcast with the Virginia Tech Police Department. We got a good guest lined up for today.
Chief Mac Babb's going to be on riding shotgun, riding in the passenger seat today, and we're going to go out and do a little interview with him.
Hey, that sounds awesome. Let's meet our guest.
Vehicle with the commander bird.
We're out at the Blacksburg Regional Airport here. Got Chief. So to get started here, Chief, why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself, background, in your career, and how you got to Virginia Tech?
Excellent. So I came to Virginia Tech about 9 years ago. Prior to that, I was with the city of Roanoke for about 25 years. Started in 1990, so a long time ago. Galaxy far, far away there. I spent those 25 years, I worked my way up to the level of lieutenant and spent time in just about all areas of the department. So I began in patrol where everybody begins and worked my way up, went into the vice narcotics unit for a while. As a supervisor, I supervised the K-9 unit, the street crimes unit, warrant service, patrol. I did some planning and analysis for a period of time. Went back and was in charge of a patrol zone or entire section of the city, and finished my career as in charge of the investigations unit there. And as a collateral duty, I was in charge of the tactical response team. So once I left that, I was looking for another place you could actually retire after 25 years in their system, and started looking around for other opportunities, and Virginia Tech became available. And I applied and was very fortunate to get the position, and I was very excited about it. My father actually attended school here in 1963, 64, or graduated in 64. He was a member of the football team at the time, played for Jerry Claiborne, and my parents had been married on campus as well. So a little bit of history here, which made for a great story while I was getting hired, and came in as the deputy chief, became chief in 2019, and here we are.
Now, you went to Roanoke College, right?
Yes.
And I'm sure your dad was super excited about you not coming to Virginia Tech, right? So how'd that work out? How'd that play out? And what did you study at Roanoke?
Yeah, those were long conversations, and one might say that my employment here could be me paying my father back for not attending Virginia Tech, but he eventually understood, and it obviously worked out well. I was a criminal justice major at Roanoke College. Initially went in with interest in going into a federal law enforcement agency and working my way in that direction, and it was actually an internship that I did while at Roanoke College with the city police department that kind of redirected my path.
And we work with housing and residence life. Well, it's actually residential well-being, right?
Yes.
And so we work with them a lot, and it's just ironic that you have a connection to might have been housing and residence life back in the day. What was that at Roanoke College?
For today, they would be student leaders, but I was actually a resident advisor back in the day. I did that for 2 of my 4 years at Roanoke College in what is Crawford Hall. So had a little bit of experience trying to manage a large building and some of the challenges that the students face in there. It was a freshman hall, so I get the first year struggles to help them get through the first year.
And when you came here, you came as a deputy chief. You were hired in as the deputy chief.
I was
a major. And then how long have you worked here again?
I've worked here 9 years, so I'm approaching my 5th year as chief. Actually, I just crossed my 5th year 2 days ago.
So when you came here, did you have a legacy, an idea? I don't think a lot of people do. I mean, I didn't, right? You start working, and as you're there, you're like, when I retire, and I don't necessarily, Michael Johnson, MJ, he has an amazing legacy. We'll share that on another show. But what do you think when you leave, when you retire from Virginia Tech, you look back on and you say, hey, I'm glad that we did this? Yeah,
so when I came here, I think, certainly a mistake people make when they take positions is immediately coming in like, oh, I'm going to change everything. I'm going to do all of this stuff without actually learning and understanding what the culture is. I was very fortunate that the people that had come before me had kind of set me up in a good position as far as where the police department was at the time. It was a nationally accredited agency when I took it over. Had good people working here, still have good people working here. When I became chief in 2019, of course, everybody who takes the role of chief's like, well, I'm going to take everything that I've learned and I'm just going to try to take it one level higher. Um, the thing that's important for me is not my legacy as much as making sure that I establish a culture where it's everyone's legacy. I don't need my name on anything for it to be meaningful. What I do need is for everyone that's here to feel proud of, when they do come to the time of leave, the police department, they're proud of what they created, what remains after they go. And for the ones that are here, be proud of why they're here and see exactly what their purpose is. That's just really, really important to me. And it's all about kind of creating a really good, solid culture within a police department.
Jay, excellent answer. Excellent answer. I hope that you took that to heart.
Yes.
Yeah. And so a lot of people at Virginia Tech Police Department here have had a bunch of experience here at the department. Some people have come from outside agencies like you and transferred here, but I've had a little opportunity, not nearly as much as you, to work with other agencies, and I found that experience to be really valuable and help me, understand other ways of doing things. So how does coming from a place like Roanoke City, that's a different jurisdiction, different department, how does that help you think about doing things here at Virginia Tech? What does that experience do for you?
Yeah, it's been very valuable, and I regularly push people to try to get those experiences, interacting with other agencies. When you're in a culture, no matter what it is, it's almost like everything you're doing seems right. And if you don't take the time to look and see how other people are doing things, you miss opportunities to grow and become better. The things we are doing could be the right things, but you do have to benchmark all other agencies. There are many things that we work on here that we only see once or twice that other agencies deal with all of the time. So finding out, all right, we handled it this way this time. If it ever comes up, was it the right way to do it? And then you go out and you find agencies that are dealing with certain problems and like, well, if you tweak this or do that, you're probably going to get a better result. And I think that's probably one of the greatest values of getting that outside experience, or at least going to talk to people in other agencies and paying attention. When we go away to training, there's the formal training that you get, and there's also the interaction with the people in the room who have come from different agencies. And there's many times where we get more out of the interaction with the other people than we do the actual training we go to. So.
You think that obviously, like I came from Newport News, and Roanoke and Newport News are a lot alike in a lot of ways, and I think the reason why I am the way I am here is because there was a foundation laid in community policing then, and so I know Roanoke even now heavily involved in community policing, and I think you have to get out and speak to the community, not just talk to them on the phone or send them an email, but get out and actually talk to them. How do you think your community policing in Roanoke influenced what you do here?
It was critical. You mentioned Newport News. I mean, Newport News and Roanoke shared several connections, to include our chief came from Newport News at one time. And you could see the influences, when you and I talk about our experiences. It's interesting how many of them overlap, never having worked directly together because we're on the other side of the state. So you could see the influence come when Chief Gaskins joined us. Coming here, I think I was able to see things that we did in the city, and of course the true advantage of campus law enforcement is there's so much more opportunity to do outreach, as long as you're willing to put the time commitment in. And that's probably the biggest challenge of community policing or community policing activities, is they are very time intensive, but the reward is immense. As you said, it's not about, communication's good, and if you're sending emails out and telling people, keep up with this and stuff, that's okay. But ultimately, I think the things that we learn the most about community policing is the community wants to see the person and not the uniform or the badge. They need to understand that we're human, that we're part of the community, and you don't get that by, the cold communication. It has to be the face-to-face, one-on-one, hand-to-hand shake kind of situations.
And so, Chief, I've heard recently that in some of our meetings, it can focus a little bit more on always how we can improve, and people can fall into the trap of being a little critical. And you've pushed recently to bring some positivity around the department and highlight some things we're doing well. So I'm going to give you the opportunity here to brag. What's something that you want to highlight the department's been really doing well in the past, in recently past year or two? What's something that pops to your mind that you're proud of the department doing as a whole in recent time here?
Well, again, kind of going back to the community policing thing, I think our department actively looks for opportunities to interact with people. And I think that's critical, and it's at all levels. You can't, we have a community services unit, but I think our officers don't say, well, that's their job and I do this. It's everybody understands that we need to connect with our students, and everything is an opportunity to kind of improve that relationship. Our customer service, I think, is incredible, and people don't often think of police departments and customer service as being a thing, but we treat every interaction that we get into as an opportunity to serve the public, and to kind of do that one extra thing that somebody else might not do to make the individual's day, or improve a situation where they're having trouble with whatever's going on in their life. And I think those are some really critical things. We do a good job at problem solving. We've recently been addressing traffic safety on campus, and the officers collectively work together to try to find different ways to help educate students on campus as to things that increase their chances of being injured while they're trying to move across campus safely. And I think that stands as a strong example of where it's not just about us trying to give the most positive impression. That's an important thing, but it's also about taking the things that we're doing and making a safer environment so that people can come here and actually get what they came here, which is the education, the friendships, and the enjoyment or the experience that Virginia Tech is.
I think working in a town or a city and then coming to work at a university, one of the big things that got me was the transition, because they're living on campus for a year and then a lot of them are moving off campus. And so we're in a town or community, you're dealing with, a certain neighborhood, get to know the people, and here you get to know faculty, staff, but even they transition to other places, other universities. So for me, that was a challenge coming here. But it also, because you want to stay fresh, right? Like the podcast, we're out here sitting at the Virginia Tech airport. It's quiet, no planes landing. And so we're trying to stay fresh, but at the same time, you realize that the programs that you have, some of these kids have never seen before. So you always got to remember in the back of your mind, hey, I've done this 1,000 times, but they haven't, kind of thing. So.
Yeah, the turnover here is one of the more challenging pieces. And when people talk about what's the difference between, say, a municipal or urban environment versus coming to a university campus, the fact that we gain 9,000 people a year and lose 6,000 a year to graduation, the constant turnover. So we have to restart things all the time. And it all seems basic, but it's brand new to people who are showing up here and critically important.
So let's pretend you only work 39 hours a week and the rest of the time, how do you de-stress? Because you work a lot more than 39 hours, but how do you de-stress? What are some of the things that you do?
So, I enjoy just getting out, walking, doing things. I am a true Sunday driver. I will just go out and play music and drive around. I like hiking or going to the gym sometimes, just to kind of relieve my mood. I love being out in the sun, just, the feeling of it. Fall's my favorite time of year with the sweatshirt and shorts. But just being outside and fresh air and things like that, I think helped me a lot. I have 2 daughters, 5 grandkids, and a great grandson. So they occupy my time all the time. Love everybody to death, and they treat me really well as grandpa or papa or whatever. So they help take my mind off troubles here at the department as well. So
If you had to guess, what music do you think, genre do you think MJ listens to? And what music do you listen to?
You know, I am not sure. I'm just.
What about you? What about you?
So I listen to everything. So I was going to say that he listens to BTS or something, but I don't know. We'll go with grunge music for MJ.
I mean, occasionally.
Yeah. So I'm a child of the '80s, and then picked up grunge in the '90s. So that's actually why I said that. But I listen to all kinds of music. It's more about the melody and how the music makes you feel, and if whatever your mood is, there's a song for that mood, and I think that's really cool. What I really like on my Sunday drives is just being out there and you hear a song you haven't heard in years, and it kind of takes you back to a moment in your life, kind of thing. So that's the importance of music for me, is just helping bring back those memories and stuff.
Right, and similar question for when you're on duty, you are working, you get around campus a lot. I always see you zipping off to meetings here and there. What's Chief Babb's kind of favorite place on campus? If you're going here, you're like, I love that part of campus, love getting over there. What's part of campus you really enjoy?
The part of campus I really enjoy, I will say, is during the football games, just watching everybody. We obviously can go anywhere in the stadium, and once everybody gets loaded in and is kind of in their activity, I guess there's 2 spots. One is staying at the top of the stadium and watching everybody enjoy what we're watching, and the other place that we're doing is kind of out around Hookie Village and in and around that. And the reason why I like it kind of goes with what's fulfilling about this particular job is I enjoy watching people, and especially large crowds of people, who are enjoying whatever the activity is, and they have no concern for their safety. We tell people all the time, you need to be situationally aware, you need to be mindful. Safety is a shared responsibility. But when people come into an environment like that, where there could be a lot of potential danger, but we have set a condition so that everybody feels comfortable and safe, and those are kinds of the moments that I really enjoy, and because of that, I like those spots on campus. The drill field's another one. If you just go there and watch people going about their day, doing the things that they're here to do, those are special to me.
It's funny that you say that, because I'm on the sidelines. MJ, I think he's at Gate 7 this year, and what I find interesting, listen to the radio, is the chief at Gate 7, the chief of the Stadium Woods, because you easily could be sitting up in the command center, right? But you're out there, boots on the ground kind of thing, calling in things on the radio. So I really like that. MJ, where's your favorite part on campus?
I don't know if this is like the greatest answer, but it just sticks out in my head from being on patrol up by the visitor center, when I'd be out driving around and I'd just take a minute to park early in the morning. It's just a really good place to look out over a decent chunk of campus up top on the hill. It's just very peaceful. So I like a lot of different places of campus, but for some reason that one always sticks out in my head. Just up there on the hill, take a minute to park and look at what's going on. It's just very peaceful. I don't know why. I just enjoy that spot.
For me, it's Kent Street, believe it or not. Coming down Kent, when you could look at the core and you can see the new buildings there, the view of the core has always been my favorite, the upper quad. So
that's pretty cool. I actually eat lunch in your spot, I think. So
Yeah.
I'll pull up there and just eat some lunch there, because it is quiet.
Yeah, it's quiet.
Of course, we might have found a new spot too,
Yes,
as
yes.
well. So we started this thing, kind of stole it, kind of borrowed it from the Newport Police Department. They have a podcast and they do rapid fire. So we're going to do a little rapid fire kind of thing. So MJ, you want to start?
Okay, so you're sitting at home, relaxing, got the TV on. Would you rather watch a TV show or a movie?
Movie.
A cartoon or a police show?
Cartoon.
Cartoon. I knew it.
Would you go for ice cream or cake?
Yes.
All the above.
Yes.
Let's see, bike ride. I've seen you bike ride before. I've seen you in the past, bike riding kind of thing. Bike riding or jogging.
I'm gonna go with bike riding
Yeah,
now. There was a time when it would have been jogging, but a couple injuries later, bike riding has become a much better for
a lot easier.
myself.
If you're going on vacation, would you rather go to the mountains or to the coast?
I'm gonna go with yes on that one too. It's both have their appeal. I love the beach and just thoroughly enjoy being out there again. Going back to how the sun makes you feel. So might be a little leaning that way, but I do love the mountains.
Football or baseball?
I'm gonna have to go with football. Again, my father played, so as a young age, I grew up on football, and
Did you ever play?
I did not. Well, I played, but nothing that I would ever point to as being, oh my gosh, look at this great athlete.
Right.
But I enjoyed playing football, the Pee Wee leagues, and some of the younger leagues. But um, I would have loved to have played college anywhere, but just didn't happen.
Are you a morning person or evening person?
Evening and late night. Yeah.
Well, that's it for rapid fire. We went a little slow there. Could have gone a little faster. Maybe we'll pick it up on the next one. But anything else that you want to say? Obviously, this podcast, we spent some quality time with you today out at
Yes,
the
you did.
airport. Anything that you want our viewing audience of, I don't know, 5 or 6 viewers to know about?
Well, maybe we'll get 7 viewers
Yeah.
today. So, I will say the other people, I mentioned my daughters and grandchildren. This job doesn't get done for anybody without the support of family. And, my wife has been there to support me through my entire career, which is important. And I think that's important for people to understand. There's a lot of stress in this job that goes with the position, and that stress doesn't end with just the officer or the people who work in the police department. The families are, take on an immense amount of stress with that. And, I think it's critical that, they get recognized as well as being supportive so that we can have well-functioning officers here, because it would be challenging without that support.
Well, thank you very much. I think we are going to drive around campus a little bit more, take you back to the police department, because that's the way we do it. We pick you up and we take you back.
I appreciate that, because this would be a long walk.
It would be.
All right, we're back here at Off the Cuff Podcast with everybody's favorite part of the podcast, everybody's favorite topic, Virginia State Code. All right, so as always, bringing you guys a relevant topic to campus. This time, pedestrians. A lot of pedestrians on campus, crosswalks. So pedestrians and crosswalks, here's some Virginia code for you. 462924, drivers to stop for pedestrians. So, the driver of any vehicle on a highway shall stop when any pedestrian is crossing a highway when there's a clearly marked crosswalk, any regular pedestrian crossing inside a sidewalk, or any intersection when the driver is approaching and the speed limit's less than 35. So let me focus on the big one for campus, crosswalks. Right, you see them on campus around. We have a lot of those good signs that says you got to yield for pedestrians and crosswalks. So state law, if you're on this campus, if you're anywhere in Virginia, you got to stop for that crosswalk. But let's take one step back from the law here, my favorite part, legal corner. If you're a pedestrian, even though you have the right of way in that crosswalk, you still got to look both ways, because the law is not going to stop you from getting hit by a distracted driver. So everybody, in the audience here, you still got to stop and look, even though you have the right of way. But when you're the driver, you got to make sure that you're yielding to those pedestrians. And I'll even drop this bonus tip in. When you're a pedestrian, you got to be careful with the whole let me wave on the car to get them through, because you got to be looking out for everything else that's going on the road. It's best to just go ahead and move through if you can. So there's MJ's Legal Corner for today. Pedestrians and crosswalks on campus.
MJ, I would say take those earbuds out. Take your phone, don't pay attention to your phone, pay attention to both directions, right? Because you see people walking around and they're just looking down at their phone, they got their earbuds in, and it just drowns out everything.
Yep, so that's what we got for today. We'll see y'all next time.